Hey YouTube, Magazine 2021 here, coming at you with a bit of a different kind of video. This time I wanted to more or less compare and contrast three different versions of one of my favorite stories slash narratives of all time, pun intended, since it's deals with time travel. I wanted to go over Steins Gate. Wait. Yeah, Steins Gate. And also wanted to cover or talk about the anime adaptation, which I just got as a early birthday present last week. My birthday's next week on the 5th. That should be Friday. Next Friday. Really looking forward to turning 26. And also one of two straight up manga adaptations. As far as I'm aware, there's a second manga adaptation that's not this one that hasn't gotten an English release yet, so I don't have any idea on how good or bad it is, or how it compares to this or the anime adaptation or whatever. If I wanted to, I could go out on a limb and talk about, as it's touted online. Sorry about that. As it's touted online, the true sequel of the true sequel of this, Steins Gate Zero. But as far as Zero is concerned, without really going into spoilers or whatever, it takes place right before the true ending of Steins Gate. And if I said any more, I would probably be spoiling the ending, I guess. But, yeah, I just recently finished watching, or I should say, I marathoned the anime adaptation, the anime. It's about 10 hours, 40-something minutes in one sitting. And the manga adaptation is only 22 chapters, I think, and only 3 volumes. Now, what do I think of all 3 versions? I'll probably say it again at the end of the video, but I highly recommend checking out the visual novel if you get a chance. Oh wait, why did I grab that? I meant to grab a case. Yeah, highly recommend checking out the visual novel if you get a chance. It is close up. And if you don't have a way to check out the visual novel, it's the visual novel is also on it's on PS3, it's on Vita, it's on Steam, it's on PC. It did get released on PS4 as like an exclusive pre-order bonus or something with Steins Gate Zero when that came out in Japan last year, but we haven't gotten an English release for the PS4 version or whatever. But if you don't have a way to check out the visual novel or whatever, then I also highly recommend the anime adaptation, which is a damn good adaptation. Definitely one of my favorite adaptations out there that I've watched. And if you don't have a way to experience the visual novel or the anime, then I'd say maybe try to not read this version, or try to hold out if you can get access to one of the other 2 versions, since I feel that this is the weakest version of the 3 that I'm talking about. Mostly because, due to the length of the manga adaptation being 22 chapters, 3 volumes long, and the visual novel being 20 to 30 hours, or 20 to 40 hours, or whatever, in length, they weren't able to fully adapt everything from the source material. So some things do get left out, and you don't get the full experience, which is rather unfortunate. So yeah, stick with the visual novel or the anime. Try to not read this version of it. I suppose I should talk about the story. So, yeah, I'm just gonna sum it up in like one or two sentences. There's some people that end up inadvertently inventing a time machine out of a microwave hooked up to a cell phone, and they're able to send text messages to the past. They end up changing the past in the process a handful of times, and the main character Okabe Rintaro is the only person that's fully aware of the changes that happen whenever they shift world lines, once they change the past or whatever. And once, like about halfway through the story, they end up getting too in over their heads, and they gotta undo all the changes they made, essentially dealing with the consequences of messing with time travel in a way. And it's just really well executed. Let me talk about the other versions for a bit. This manga adaptation. My problems with it. A wonky translation. There's a part where one of the main characters, her catchphrase is Tutaru. But it's kind of like a greeting or something. The way that she uses it, but in the manga adaptation for the translation, they translated it as Toodaloo, and that's not right. No, I don't like that. It's wrong. That's not how it happened. No thanks. No thanks, Tom Hanks. And another translation error is that one character refers to her boss or knows her boss as FB, just the letters FB. So in volume 2, when it gets to the scene where she's referring to said person, they translated it as FBI, but it's just FB. I don't know why they translated it as FBI. That's also wrong. Excuse me. Though in volume 3, when it gets to another scene where she's mentioning her boss's name, excuse me, they got it written as FB, like it should be. So, I guess they kind of fixed it, though they still got Mayuri saying Toodaloo in all 3 volumes. That's not cool. I'm not a happy camper with that. So there's a wonky translation, and not every scene got to make it over, including my favorite scene, which happens in the later half of the game, close to the end. Though the scene that does happen in its place is pretty much the same as how it happens in the anime. And anybody that's watching that's gone through Steins Gate already knows exactly which scene I'm talking about. You know, the one with the guy's relative. I don't want to really spoil anything, because I did not see it coming, and it was pretty crazy. But yeah, they weren't able to include every scene. There's like even one part of the story where they just like cut out half of one character's arc for some reason. I don't know. And then I don't think the art is as good when compared to the original or the anime. Not that it's bad, I just prefer the other ones more. I do like how in the manga adaptation, there's parts where like due to the lack of voice acting and music and I guess sound effects, there's parts where throughout the manga characters will have an expression on their face correlating to whatever emotion they're currently feeling at that point in time. And shit, what was it? And I think that's definitely a strength in the manga's favor due to the lack of the stuff that I mentioned. So yeah, there's that. But again, I feel that it's the weakest version, so I definitely don't recommend doing this version if you've already gone through either of the other versions. Though if it's your first time going through Steins Gate, I'd say maybe check it out. Next up, there's the anime adaptation. My only problems with this is, again, the art style, character design, or whatever. I just think that, let me put something out real quick. I just think that the art that, they got Hugh, the guy that created Black Rock Shooter, to do the character design for the visual novel. Here's some images from the calendar. This is a 2016 calendar. But, yeah, I think that his art style really fits with Steins Gate or setting or whatever. Really makes characters and stuff pop. They're more vivid. Whereas with the anime, it's just a standard anime look or whatever. Let me bring it closer. It's like when you compare the two. I mean, on the cover of the set, it looks somewhat like it does in the original, but if you watch it, you can tell there's a difference. I mean, I don't think they would be able to really make the characters in the anime as detailed as they are in the visual novel, especially, like, with the way the characters' eyes are drawn, and, like, the way their hair and clothes are designed. They got, like, half-tone dots or something in their designs. So yeah, there's that. And then, again, not every scene is able to make the cut. I honestly think this manga adaptation is based on this anime adaptation because of how similar these two are. So, yeah, not every scene's able to make it over, including my favorite scene, but the way that it's handled in the anime, it honestly feels like a lighter version of that specific part of the story. So I can't really fault them. I think it's a nice touch. Nice variation, I suppose. But other than that, it's honestly a really great anime. Even if it's just an adaptation. I mean, they got music from the visual novel. They got the Japanese cast from the visual novel for the anime. I think the dubs really great. Definitely one of J. Michael Tatum's best roles, though. I mean, he's and plenty of stuff Funimation does. So if you've watched any of their dubs, you've probably heard him before. But yeah, I think Okabe is one of his best roles so far, from what I have heard of him. And yeah, overall, it's just really great adaptation. Definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of Steins Gate, or if you don't want to read the manga or whatever. Plus, it's about 10 hours, 40 minutes, so it's pretty much half the length of the visual novel. Just gonna, I guess talk about the series that Steins Gate's a part of. It's known as the Steins Adventure series. There's Chaos Head, and then Steins Gate, that's supposed to be set a year after Chaos Head. There's Robotics Notes, which is supposed to be set 10 years after the true ending for Steins Gate. There's Chaos Child, which I'm pretty sure it's a sequel to Chaos Head, but at the same time, it's not directly related, or not a direct sequel, or something. Then there's Steins Gate Zero, the true sequel to Steins Gate. I already talked about that. I'm pretty sure Robotics Notes is getting a sequel at some point. Every game so far has gotten a expanded re-release, aside from Steins Gate Zero and maybe Chaos Child. Another thing connecting them all is they all have semicolons in the titles. And then, similar to the whole series within a series thing, like how seasons 1 and 2 of Digimon are a TV show, and season 3 of Digimon, and season 3 is supposed to be set in the real world. The Steins Adventure series, especially Steins Gate, is its own thing within the setting of Occultic 9. So it's similar to that Digimon example I gave. Aside from having the whole semicolon in the title, this is also, to my knowledge, the first thing that was directly written or with direct involvement from the guy that came up with the Steins Adventure series. And there's also another visual novel coming out, I think, sometime in 2018 or 2019 called Anonymous Code. And with Steins Gate, that works on world lines. Whereas in Anonymous Code, it works on layers. And main gameplay mechanic or whatever is saving and loading. That's pretty integral to the story for Anonymous Code. But yeah, it's a pretty expansive series, or I should say massive series, considering the fact that Steins Gate has a lot of spin-off materials, specifically spin-off mangas and audio drama CDs, and a lot of them are very worth checking out, though you're going to have to read them online, but I've been told that they're very worth checking out. I'm actually going to be hitting up some of those very soon. So, yeah, that's pretty much the whole video. Again, like I was saying, if you can, definitely check out the visual novel if you have access to any of the platforms it's on. If you don't, or you don't like reading visual novels, check out the anime. Also check out Steins Gate Zero. Whenever you get done with Steins Gate or the anime, don't read the manga if you can avoid it. Here's cover volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I probably could have shortened this video, but whatever. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.